Did you put record? Yeah, it's recording up in the
Yep,
left
I
corner.
hear, I see
All
it.
right. This virtual meeting of the City of Kingston Zoning Board of Appeals will now come to order. It is 6:05 PM. My name is Tony Arkelevich, and I will be chairing this proceeding. I will take a moment to explain how the Zoning Board of Appeals functions. The board is comprised of 5 members and 2 alternates. We have been appointed to serve the citizens of the City of Kingston. We perform this service to the best of our abilities on a voluntary unpaid basis. The other board members are Joe Fitzgerald. I guess Joe didn't make it through the phone there. Brian is here. Brian Cafferty. Donna Martin is here. Mary Newbauer. And Ari Goldstein, not alternate, not here. We also,
I'm actually here. I'm here.
oh, Ari's here. I'm sorry, Ari. How you doing?
It's okay. All right. How you doing?
Good. So we have board members Brian Cafferty, Donna Martin, Mary Newbauer, Ari Goldstein, alternate. You'll be filling in for Joe Fitzgerald and voting, Ari, on this item.
There is somebody joining us by phone. I don't know if that's him, but he's not responding.
That'd be Mike Moriello.
Okay.
Okay, we also have Eric Kitchen, zoning enforcement officer at the controls, and Dan Gartenstein, assistant corporation counsel. There will be a period for public comment this evening after the variance request has been presented. This period is an opportunity for individuals to make a statement of opinion, not to engage in debate. Each speaker must state their name and address for the record. Speakers must be brief and to the point to allow everyone a chance to speak. Speakers must address the board as a whole, not individual members, and not other speakers or audience members. A professional demeanor is expected. Okay, first order, do I have a motion to approve minutes for March 11th, 2021 meeting, which is on the city webpage for viewing? Can I have a motion, please? Someone?
I motion.
Mary, second.
Second,
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes 5-0. All right. Okay, this evening, we have one agenda item, 236 Wall Street, SBL 56.91-3-1, Ward 2, Zone 02. The owner applicant, Kingston Ops Zone 2, LLC, Charles Blakeman. 326 Wall Street is a building, a long-time building in the city of Kingston that has been purchased by Mr. Blakeman and will be repurposed into office building use. However, by virtue of it being an office building, calculations in the zoning code, it needs 33 on-site parking by the calculations. There are, as I counted them from the drawings provided, the first floor will have 4 rooms. Correct me if I'm made a mistake, Scott. First floor, 4 rooms, second floor, 4 rooms, basement, 2 rooms. And then a large room up on the 3rd floor, which does not enter into this evening's discussion since it will not be used for office. So I'm correct in 10 rooms?
Correct.
Okay. The application indicates that there is no on-site parking spaces provided, therefore 33 spots off-site are necessary. The proposal is the use of a parking lot that Mr. Blakeman owns at 16 Lucas Avenue. That is, has site approval from the planning board, city planning board on July 1st, 2019. The concept is no public parking spaces will be needed by virtue of the use of valet, which is really fancy term for parking attendant in the parking lot, which will handle the impact of 33 cars that normally would be parked on the street, but instead will be parked at 16 Lucas Avenue. The argument is for the basis of the area variance. Is Mr. Mariello online with us?
Yes, he is. He's
Okay,
listening. He's muted.
okay, he makes the argument that valet parking eliminates the negative impact of 33 cars parked on the street. So when you do a balancing test, the benefit to the applicant and the detriment to the community, there's a balance and there's a happy medium. And that building will be repurposed, put back on the tax roll, refurbished, and there'll be no public parking necessary since the cars will be parked at 16 Lucas Avenue. How did I do, gentlemen? Did I summarize that accurately?
Yes, thank you very much. And I
Okay,
think this is in my 23-year career of coming before you asking for parking variances. It's
uh-huh,
the first time we've come for a parking related variance where we didn't really need to waive any parking. It's more about the fact that we're having the parking more than 400 feet from the building.
yes, it is a unique situation, but if you recall, there is some precedent. Several years ago, we allowed similar on Lucas Avenue for the boutique hotel on Pearl Street. I know, is it 41 Pearl Street?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah,
Several years ago, we allowed far less cars to be parked at Lucas Avenue parking for that particular boutique hotel that Mr. Blakeman owns on 41 Pearl Street.
correct.
We all have, Mr. Moriello, Mike's legal arguments and the considerations for the area variance. I don't think we need to go through them word by word, but if Mike would just like to summarize his legal argument for the area variance, and then Scott, you can go first and just give a short, brief description of what's going to be happening with the building, what needs to be done.
Sure.
Either one of you, but
Eric, are you able to unmute Mike? He
Yeah,
would have
he's-
been last.
so Mike will go first then.
We'll see if we can unmute him.
This
While
is-
Eric's doing that, I'll just say that,
So you
Can you
might,
hear me, Mr.
oh,
Chairman?
there he is.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We
Yeah,
can
all
hear
right.
you, Mike. Yep.
Well,
Did you
yeah,
hear me?
yes,
Okay,
yeah, Tony, you did a great job. This is summarizing. It is a unique situation because we trying to get to this solution. Quite frankly, Scott and I should have gotten to it faster than we did. We were struggling with how to do this, and I think that the valet eliminates all criteria, whether the variance is substantial and if it's not only substantial but the magnitude of the variance, because there really isn't any effect in those areas. Environmentally there's no effect because you're off site and not going to be impacting the surrounding area at all. So it really did present a unique chance to kind of get a different take on a regular area variance proposal. The hardship is to some degree self-created because Charlie bought the property presumably knowing what the layout was, but I think that this is it's a good solution and preserves that area without overburdening it around around the school because we all know that parking's at a premium uptown. So that's really on balance. I think the balancing analysis weighs decidedly in favor of the applicant because there's really no detrimental effects on the neighborhood at large.
Yes. And the distance from 16 Lucas Avenue on one of the documents provided is 1,148 linear feet.
Right.
Several blocks, depending on which way you take some shortcuts coming up, it's 1,000 by computer designation, it's 1,148 feet. Now, the third floor is not part, as I said, of this 34 or 33 off-site spaces. Mr. Blakeman understands, and you gentlemen understand, if that third floor is used for any particular purpose, you would have to come back to the zoning board and recalculate the parking spaces needed for the third floor, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay, good. Just
Can I get a point of clarification?
just let me make sure Mike's done with his presentation. Mike, are you done with your
Yeah.
presentation? Okay, go
Yes,
ahead.
Chairman, thanks.
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
So am I to understand that the offices on the first two levels, they're going to be valeted?
No, if I may answer this, because I got
Very
confused.
confusing.
Valet is a fancy word for parking attendant, so
I
think
understand.
parking attendant. What's gonna happen is cars are gonna park, the owners of the businesses that are in the building, the staff that's in the building will park at 16 Lucas Avenue. By virtue of the Little Man parking company, they will have a parking attendant there that's going to maneuver the cars around the parking lot because there's 125 spaces at 16 Lucas with the parking attendant, one parking attendant, and his maneuvering the cars around, he can get that spots up to 179.
Okay, so the attendant's going to be at the parking lot. All right, I get it.
So then after they park their cars at 16 Lucas, they're gonna walk 1,148 linear feet
Yep.
unless they hitchhike up to the building. Okay,
Yeah, so we're just dealing with the offices on the first and second floor now. We're not dealing.
and there's a basement, Brian, there's also a basement that has 2 rooms. So there's a total of 10 rooms, 10 offices that will be there. We're not dealing with the third floor. Are there any other questions for Mike before we go to Scott and he can present a little bit about some of the design work and work that's gonna be- Any questions for Mike, legal questions? Okay, Scott, you're on.
Okay, great. Thank you. Unique building, for sure, but it happens to be one of 2. It has a twin. Anybody that has been on Adams Street in the city of Kingston, the former St. Peter's School, will recognize the building's facade and footprint. At the time, the Catholic Church actually did one set of plans and they built it twice. So it's the same building. We had the good fortune of working for Catholic Charities a few years back down there. It's Charles bought the building for obvious reasons. It's next to the hotels. There's an opportunity there. And there's a huge demand in Uptown Kingston for small offices. And there will always be a demand, in my view, for small law office tenants because of the proximity to the courts. So tonight, we're here just to talk about the offices, to try and get the building cash flowing again. We will be back before this board with a more thorough and thoughtful application with respect to the third floor and how to use that and how to get that to fit into the zoning.
Now, Scott, I think you know me, I'm a realist. If I am doing business and one of the offices is an insurance company, and I am insured through that particular business, and I need to run in and pick up my insurance cards, I'm not going to walk 1,148 feet. I'm going to park in the parking meter, put a couple quarters in, and I'm going to run in and out. Now, if I'm working there as an employee, I'm not going to be putting quarters in those meters all day. I'm going to go down and walk 1,148. So I'm sure people are doing business just like they're doing business with any other entity that's in that general vicinity, because that neighborhood is filled with attorneys' offices and insurance, et cetera. The reality is if someone's running in for 15 minutes, a half hour, they're going to park on Wall Street.
Correct.
I don't think any of us would think otherwise. So we're really dealing with the employees and the owners of the businesses. And I have a thought when we get to the point of a motion that I will bring up then. So any questions for Scott from the board? Everyone understands what we're doing. And now there are two alternatives that we will have to decide. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott or Mike. There's two alternatives. One, there's 125 spaces at 16 Lucas Avenue, like I said. That can be increased, Little Man feels, to 179 with one attendant, or 225 with three attendants. We need to decide and direct which of those options Mr. Blakeman will choose for Little Man. How many spaces are devoted to other properties owned by Mr. Blakeman that park in Lucas Avenue? Scott?
Tony, I can answer this, and this is part of an approved site plan by the City of Kingston Planning Board.
Yeah.
I think we want, for the purpose of this application, we want to go with the one attendant solution.
Yes.
And when we are before you in the future, whether it's a couple months from now or further out, that's something that could always be increased and made.
So he won't use anything greater than 179 with his other properties and these 33 and one attendant.
Not without coming back before this board.
Okay, so if we choose the 179 option, it's not overloading the parking lot.
So I would like to know the answer to Tony's question, though. How many parking spaces are now being allocated from Mr. Blakeman's various properties to the lot now?
To the 125.
It should be in your package. It was part of the City of Kingston Planning Board's approved site plan, the most recent one. There was a parking tabulation where we articulated very specifically. I don't have it up on.
I didn't see it in the letter from the planning board. I may have missed it, but I read the letter from the planning board.
Bear with me, I'll minimize it and I'll.
Well, it's less than 125, obviously, right, Scott?
Yes, considerably, but if you bear with me for a second, I can call it up on my screen and tell you exactly the amount.
We just want to make sure there's enough spots with the additional 33.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure that it's a part of the package. It would have been the planning board approved site plan. Bear with me. 16 Lucas.
There's a map.
Yep, it's on the map. It's over in the, should be on the right-hand side.
You see it, Donna? How
Yeah, I
many
had just pulled
spaces?
it up. Hold on. Let me-
I
Is there
missed-
a number on that thing? I can't even see it.
I know, I couldn't see it.
Bear with me.
Yeah, it's the resolution. I can't read it.
Yeah, revision number 2. So, okay, I've got it in front of me. 24 John Street has 7 spaces at 16 Lucas. 41 Pearl Street has 13 spaces.
20,
270 Fair Street has 12.
32,
Yep,
that's it?
correct. So the total, right above that, the total parking calculation can be summarized as follows. There are 128 spaces at Lucas Avenue when you don't do attendant parking.
Right.
Of that, 72 spaces of the 128 were required for 16 Lucas.
So 72.
Correct. So we added 48. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I gave you the wrong numbers. 7, 13, and 12 should have been 10, 22, and 16 equaling 48. So that left us with a surplus of 5 parking spaces at 16 Lucas.
I was gonna say it was getting tight.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that was reviewed and approved by the planning board back in 2019.
well, at any rate, Little Man is on record as saying that he can increase it to 179
Correct.
unattended, and it's going to be in the motion for approval that I'm going to say in a few minutes. Any other questions for Scott or Mike before I propose a motion? Okay,
Nope.
here's my motion, open to any suggestions, but here's what I came up with. Motion to approve an area variance from chapter 405-34-J parentheses 2, allowing off-site parking of 37 or 33 spaces for 236 Wall Street to be located at 16 Lucas Avenue instead, with the condition that all office leases for 236 Wall Street shall contain language to that effect. In addition, 179 total spaces shall be provided at 16 Lucas Avenue with 1 attendant. You want me to read it back? Everyone, you want me to read that back? Or did you? I think that covers everything that we need to cover to give approval for this. Anybody want me to read it? If not, then I'll entertain a motion. Please.
So moved.
Who moved?
Joe Fitzgerald.
Joe's here. Joe, you son of a gun, you made it on here. I knew you would do.
He's stuck in the back door.
The devil, you.
Do we allow him to actually make that motion?
He came in and did the
Snuck in
motion.
like that?
Good job, Joe, for doing that. We talked several times before the meeting and you did it. You did it. And a second,
Second.
A second. Oh, a third.
Frank Cafferty, second. All right, so now we've got, Ari, I gotta change this now. Little did I know that Joe is here. So Ari, you won't be voting, but you certainly can make any comments you want. I didn't realize Joe was here, so we have Joe Fitzgerald, Brian Cafferty, Donna Martin, and Mary Newbauer voting, and myself. Okay, any other?
My second's contingent upon that we don't unmute Moriello's mic again.
Okay.
He's on, I think he's driving to Maine.
Okay. So with all discussion, no further discussion, we have the motion. Joe Fitzgerald moved, Brian Cafferty second, all in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? So they passed 5-0. And good luck.
Thank you.
I hear there was a little story, I won't repeat it here, about something being removed on top of the roof of that building. And how delicately it was done. Any truth to that story, Scott?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Oh, I bet you're not.
You will see us again when we have the details for the third floor figured out. And if anybody on this board is interested in having a tour of the building, I have the keys, and it's a magnificent space.
I'd like to see it after it's renovated, so.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to touch the third floor very much. It's
No, but I mean, the first and second and basement, you're gonna be renovating those, right?
a little light touch. I mean, they don't need a lot. They need a little bit of unearthing, trying to bring some things back.
You're leaving the blackboards in there?
I don't know, but
Oh, all
the
right,
next time we talk, I'll have an answer for you.
okay.
All
All
right,
right,
thank you all.
thank you, board, thank you, Mike,
You're
Scott,
welcome.
Thank
Hey,
you.
everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Who was adjourned?
Joe again.
Brian was first, Joe was second.
Boy, Joe, you
I
really,
gotta say, that was an unbelievably painless meeting.
Yes.
I try.
Man, good job, Tony. Have a good night.
All right, thank you. Thank you,
Good
board.
night.
All right,
Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Eric.
Tony.
I'll bring the signature sheet down to you tomorrow. You gonna be in?
I'll be in tomorrow. I'll see you in the morning.
All right, you're
Give me
gonna,
give me a call in the morning, Tony.
all right,
I'll be in.
okay, thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Eric. Good job, Eric.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
See you. How do I get out of here?